We like cost per engagement because it really aligns what the three constituencies that we're trying to serve. It gives the consumer an ad that's relevant to what content they're watching, as to what the mood and state of mind they're in personally. It gives the publisher the opportunity to serve an ad that is going to keep that consumer on their site for a longer period of time. And then finally, of course, it gives the advertiser a consumer that actually wants to see and engage with their product. So the methodology that we use, we could talk about in a second, but the theory of giving somebody an ad that's relevant to them really serves all three constituencies in the ecosystem.
Okay, so how do you serve that relevant ad to them?
Sure.
Is it through cookies, or how does it work?
So the first thing we do is we scan the piece of content that the consumer is about to watch, so we categorize it and check that it's brand safe. The second thing we do is we look and we see the video viewing history of that consumer and all the attributes within that, the types of content he or she has looked at previously, types of ads they've engaged with, and all the environmental factors, time of day, day, week, geography. Those things are very important to them where we decide this is the right ad to serve to this person at this place at this time. Now, what the meat behind it is and how we get this to work is we put a piece of content, we put a piece of advertising out with an engagement trigger. So the advertiser gives us their commercial, we add some engagements to it.
Meaning what?
Meaning a call to action. Find out more about this product. Is this service right for you? Where do I find this product? Where do these goods and services work best? All kinds of different attributes that the advertiser says is important to them. And we mirror what kind of person has engaged with that creative. We find out all the attributes about that in a very small base case. And then once we figure out what it takes to get a certain kind of person to engage with that ad, we mirror that and model that over and over and over again to very large numbers to meet the advertiser's objectives.
So is this sort of a pioneering effort? Is it sort of becoming an industry standard? Where does this stand, this cost per engagement?
Well, we certainly hope so, right? I mean, as I said before, just using one measure, a cookie, or what you think a piece of content is about doesn't really get you the full way. You could be reading a piece of sports content, and of course someone's going to naturally think, let's serve this guy an ad for beer. Well, if it's 5 in the morning and I happen to be catching up on my sports content, I don't really need to see an ad for beer. So the cost per engagement model really takes in all attributes and all measures of when is the right time to serve this ad. Hopefully it'll become a standard.
Okay, so what's the attitude of the brands and the advertisers? Are they into it? Do you have to sell them on it? Where does it stand in terms of adoption?
Well, we do have to sell people on it. This stuff doesn't sell itself, unfortunately. But what we do is we have a good example recently where we had an advertiser who thought the best metric to get someone engaged and to learn more and to like their product was to get time spent. Seems natural, right? You want someone to watch the whole commercial. That's going to be the best metric to get them to buy off the shelf. Well, that wasn't doing so well. We measured purchase intent, wasn't the greatest of scores. So then we switched. We said, let's find these people who instead are choosing to say that they have this condition, that whatever this product was looking to serve, that they're interested in it and they want to learn more. When we started optimizing towards that, the numbers of purchase intent skyrocketed. So switching from one metric to another, as we're learning, not being so tied in and fixed in with saying this is absolutely the only way to do it, we're going to see dramatic success, and the advertiser has continued to pour in a lot more money along these this particular KPI.
So tell us about measurement and measuring brand lift, the impact of these programs.
Yeah. So you do a very simple exposed and control, and you find out based on that exposed and control and the ads that you're serving. We serve pop-up ads, pop-up surveys, within the video itself, or we'll work with a third party like Vizu, and we're more than happy to incorporate that so they could do a baseline of what their other ads are doing. We find out people who are engaging with that ad. Is it working? Is that getting someone to say after the fact, and again in exposed control, that they're going to buy more of that product or they're interested in it, or they think more highly of that brand than another? Engagement we've really found to be the driver of success for those, even above standard pre-roll. Combining an interactive element with that video drives all metrics higher than just running a standard 30-second commercial.
Okay, so how does this priced? It's a different model than CPM. Tell us about the pricing scenario.
It's very simple. It costs $2. When you're running a video, it's a $2 for every engagement of a consumer. It's very much in line with other pricing norms. It's not CPM, right? It's clearly not a CPM. So when you're buying this, you want to know exactly how many people, an advertiser tells us this is how many engaged consumers we want. And it really strips everything else clean. It proves to them that we are putting our own skin in the game and say, don't pay us unless we really convert and do the things that you're looking to do for your advertising goals.
Great, Jason. So we're going to kind of go deep on all this stuff shortly at our conference on November 15th at Digitas. What are some of the topics you think that around this that need to be sorted out, that you want to hear and that you want to share?
Well, it's the use of creative. I think creative is above all the most important factor in this. If you don't have the story and the message down, no amount of technology, no amount of cookie targeting or content targeting is going to do something for you. So it all starts with having the right creative. Then you use this sophisticated technology, and that's up for discussion. Is it a behavioral model and a content modeling the way we do? Or is it just linear? Is it a cookie from any number of third-party providers? Or is it just putting it on a certain site? One of the other unforeseen, really important measures is also frequency. How often are advertisers taking that into account when they're doing advertising? It doesn't happen on television, that's for sure. There's no such thing as a frequency cap. That's all we talk about, is when is this ad being served at the right place, all of these things together. So I think the event that you're putting on in a couple of weeks is going to be a fantastic opportunity for all sides, publishers, advertisers, data providers, technology companies, to talk about this.